Welcome to Bay Area Breakdown, where we talk about the Golden State Warriors and everything around the organization. I'm Thomas.
And I'm Justin Kim.
The Warriors have been pretty hot lately. They won 11 of the last 14 games. So we can start off there. How do you think the Warriors look in the current situation?
I think they're playing pretty good. They beat Philly two times, Pacers and the Suns, which are a very good basketball team.
Yeah, so they're currently ninth in the West. Every loss they've had is been a crunch time loss or a big collapse. Recently, the Nuggets, they had a big lead and they weren't able to keep that.
And like the game against the Clippers, they were winning also big and just blew it on the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So looking ahead in their next 14 or next four games, they have the Knicks, the Raptors, the Celtics, and the Bucks. How do you think the Warriors are going to do going into that next stretch?
My honest thoughts are I think they could barely win against Knicks. I'll take a W against Knicks. Easy W against Raptors. Sadly, loss against Celtics and a win against Bucks, I feel like. What
Yeah,
what
I
do you
don't know.
think?
I feel like the Knicks game it's in Madison Square Garden, I believe. The Raptors, that's a game that hopefully the Warriors take care of. Raptors haven't been that good like ever since they traded Pascal and OG. The Celtics, I mean, they're a buzz, so I don't think you can go into Boston and beat the Celtics. And the Bucks, I mean, the Bucks with Doc, they haven't been that good, but I feel like they're still a good team. They still have Giannis and Dame, which Giannis prevents like he's a big guy going into the paint, and as good as Draymond is as a defender in the paint, I don't see how Giannis is defended by Draymond.
Yeah, also I want to add on the Celtics. Celtics have been like the hottest team. That's why I think they're gonna lose against the Celtics.
Yeah, the Bucks team's at home, so maybe it helps that they're in Chase Center.
Yeah, for Bucks, that could heavily help. Yeah.
We can go to Steph. Steph's been pretty bad recently.
He
Um,
been 7 out of 37 for 3% or for 3-pointer, which is basically 19%, which is I feel worse than Clay.
yeah, I mean, Steph's struggling right now. Hopefully, the team can kind of like rally around him. I just feel like, ever since the All-Star break, Steph hasn't really found his shot. Before the All-Star break, he was scorching hot. I mean, there was a stretch where he had like 9 threes, 11 threes. Like it was like 7 threes a game in that stretch right before the All-Star game. I think kind of sitting out and then during the All-Star break kind of cooled him down a little bit.
Yeah, he been very hot like pre All-Star game, and then I think the All-Star just like killed his momentum.
Yeah, having Chris Paul coming back, I think it helps. But I don't think Chris Paul is like prime Chris Paul, where he's gonna drop 20, give you 10 assists. The last game against the Wizards when he came back, he had 9, 6, and 4, and he was plus 17. So he's still the game manager, still the guy who can kind of control the second unit. Yeah, what do you think about Chris Paul coming back?
He looked pretty good. He was like ball handler, and he was good defensively and could like handle the ball. Like he was like a good passer.
Yeah, I mean he was hitting threes. I think he hit a couple threes in that game.
He
Um,
was like 3, 4, 7 or something like that.
Yeah, if you can hit just a couple threes off the bench, just cover the minutes when Steph's gone. I think he's gonna be really helpful
Yeah.
as we make this run.
Hmm. Yeah.
The bench, I mean, I think just kind of going to the bench as a whole. CP having Clay back there, GP2, Trace Jackson Davis, Dario Saric, even Moses Moody and Lester Quinones. I think having that second unit like be solid, I think is really important. What do you think about like how good the bench has been?
I think Jackson Davis, I want to credit him. He been playing like very good. Dario Saric been hitting his threes, which I think is very helpful. CP3, we'll see how he does again, but like the last game against Wizard, he played pretty good, so we'll see. And
Yeah,
Klay Thompson had also been pretty good too recently.
we can talk about Clay. Clay, ever since moving to the bench, he's been hot and cold against the Jazz. He had 35 points in his first game. I mean, that's when everyone's like, "Oh, Clay might be back." Was it as he coming off the bench? And that first quarter against the Nuggets, he had 27 points, I believe, something close to that. Just unbelievable, unbelievable shooting. He kind of cooled off in the second half. But what do you think about Clay? Clay in his new role?
I think Steve Kerr is pretty smart for that because I feel like Klay Thompson had been playing way better like this season, like when he's on the bench. Because like the game against Nuggets, like what you said, he was hot, but then he cooled down. But against Washington Wizards, like he was the leading scorer. So yeah,
Yeah. Do you think Clay can go back to his old self, free injuries?
we will see, but I hope so, but maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Clay's gonna be like another like a 20-point scorer again. But I think, I mean, he can still be a solid defender. He can hold his own against best like the best player on the bench units. And I think if Clay can just be a little bit more consistent, not having these like 1 for 10, 1 for 8 games, and just give the Warriors like 35% shooting off the bench, hit two or three threes, just kind of cover the time when Steph's not on the court. I think that's the Clay we want, and I think that's the Clay that like he said he wants to be.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, we can talk about so now Clay, the guy who replaced Clay, Brendan Fajemski, he's been amazing ever since moving to the starting lineup. Just complimenting Steph, being a catch and shoot guy, being a secondary ball handler. How do you think about Fajemski's play recently?
I think he's playing like very good defense. I want to give credit to him because he had 32 drawn for charges, which is six more than the second place, which is Jalen Bronson from the New York Knicks. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's also been really well rounded, just averaging 11 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, just doing it all. That's what we know like Draymond to be, the guy who can rebound, guy who can pass it out a little bit. And I think having Pods also be able to like be the rebounder, especially on like such a small team we have. I mean, basically we have Draymond Kuminga playing the 4 and the 5. And the two guys are like 6'7", 6'8", maybe 6'9" on a lucky day for Kuminga. I just don't think like you need someone who can rebound from the guard spot, and I think Fujinski really brings that.
Yeah. Talking about Podziemski's stats, he been averaging 11 points, 6 assists, and 7 rebounds in February, which I feel like could like be very useful during playoff if they do make it that far.
Yeah. So having like the lineup we have right now, what do you think about how it is right now with Steph, Pajemski, Kuminga, Wiggins, and Draymond, like having been the starters, and then the bench unit being some combination, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, Moses Moody, Dario Saric, Gary Payton, and Trace Jackson Davis. Is there any changes you want to see? Anything like you're interested to see, like any player who might have a bigger role, like a guy like Lester Quinones, Guy Santos, two young guys? Anyone you think who might come out and be a bigger part in the second half of the season?
I like our roster, but I feel like Podziemski should get like more a little bit more playing time because he been popping off, but I feel like Steve Kerr's not like letting him like reach his full potential yet, even though he's young.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing 30 something minutes a game. I've seen some people on Twitter say like maybe they like bring it down a little bit actually, give Podziemski some more rest, let him kind of rest up for like a potential play-in playoff like situation.
I guess I see that, but I like at the same time he been like kind of like been like the like leading scorer on the team. I feel like besides Steph Curry.
Mhm.
Yeah, like every time like Steph Curry's like cold, I feel like Podziemski be like carrying the team on the starter.
Yeah, Kuminga too. I think Kuminga's been really big. He had that stretch earlier in the year when he's like getting 20 points, 20-point games. I don't think he's a 20-point scorer just yet, but I think having Kuminga in the starting lineup really helps like the scoring aspect outside of Steph.
Yeah, I like what Kaminga's doing right now because he's like he's playing like more physically and he's playing like more
Mhm.
self-confident now.
Yeah, I see his confidence, something you didn't see when he was a rookie and even last year. We need him to become like Jordan Poole, maybe not like confident shot chucking, taking shots, with 5 seconds left, or with 15 seconds left or however much it was against Memphis, you know, but I think having the confident Kuminga is really going to help if we want to make a deeper playoff run. Um, Talking about like the roster construction, what do you think the Warriors should do with Moses Moody? Like he's you know he hasn't really seen the most consistent playing time. He started yesterday with Wiggins out, and Wiggins is out tomorrow, so he might start again. But just going forward in the second half of the season, what do you think like Moses Moody's role is with the team?
I think like I don't know, but I feel like fan base really loves Moses Moody, and like when he gets his opportunity, like he always steps up and always like he's always like big for us, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see him having a spot in the team because the second unit, like the guards and the wings, it's gonna be some combination of Chris Paul, Gary Payton, and Clay. And like with those three, you have scoring in Clay, you have defense in GP2, and then you have like the control ball handling with CP. So I don't really see where Moody comes in. He can't really play four, and I really like Dario Saric in the four right now, being a stretch four, and then obviously TJD being like the rebounder. So, I mean, do you see Moses Moody some getting a role? Did you want to see him like play with somebody who you think might help him succeed?
Oh, first, like I don't know, but I feel like he should just get more playing time. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I feel what
He
you're
just
saying.
been he just been like stepping up, like what I said.
Yeah. What do you think about the Warriors ceiling this year? Do you think they can make the finals? Do you think they're gonna miss the playoffs? How you
I
feeling?
think they'll lose in like the semifinals.
The second round?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I also can see a world where the Warriors make the play, they maybe lose in the play-in. Like the team's getting older. Steph's he's still Steph, but you have old Chris Paul, old Klay Thompson off the bench. Pajemski, Kuminga, they haven't really developed yet. Kuminga had that playoff run, but he didn't really play. Would you be surprised if they didn't make the playoffs this year?
I'm 100% guaranteed that they're gonna make the playoff.
You, you
I just
think?
see like them like pushing through because
Do you
they've been
think? Do
very hot recently and
you
stuff
think
like
they're gonna
that.
have to play through the play-in?
What?
Do you think they're gonna have to play through the play-in?
No, I don't think so. I like hopefully, but I don't see that happening either.
So you think they're gonna make the sixth seed?
Yeah.
So right now they're 3.5 games back of Phoenix. The teams they're gonna have to jump is Sacramento, Dallas. So do you think which team do you think falls out? New Orleans is also 4 games ahead of them. So do you think New Orleans falls out a little bit?
Well, yeah, I think New Orleans gonna fall down. Yeah. And
What about
also
Phoenix? Do you think Phoenix is gonna fall? Because 3 games is 3 games, but having so many teams ahead of them,
we
like
have we have two more games that we still have to play because like the game that got postponed too. So
yeah,
I
um,
yeah,
yeah.
I feel like they couldn't make the play in. I mean
In my
playoff.
opinion, I think Minnesota, Oklahoma City, Denver, and the Clippers, they're locked in the top 4 seeds. I don't see them falling out, especially like they're like in their little league of their own. They're competing for the one, two, three, four. And
Mhm.
then I think New Orleans, Phoenix, Sacramento, Dallas, Golden State, and the Lakers. That's kind of another realm where it's like teams are fighting to avoid the play-in and kind of make the 2 playoff spots available.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like Golden State has trouble. We have trouble holding leads and just keeping like
Like
being
in the
staying
fourth
hot.
quarter.
Yeah, like that
Yeah.
Denver game. I feel like the Denver game, even the Clippers game, just like those are 2 games we had the lead in and we just blew it.
Well, for the game against Denver, like Jamal Murray just started popping off, like even though he been very cold recently.
Yeah, Jamal Murray just like seems to always play good against really good teams.
Warriors, yeah.
Yeah, against the Warriors. Sacramento, I mean, Fox and Sabonis have been pretty good. It's a little rivalry, no rivalry. We played them a lot in the beginning of the season, so I'm interested to
Yeah.
see like how this shakes up with us not really having to play them.
Hmm.
And then Dallas, um, I think Dallas is a good team. Luca, Kyrie, those guys. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas gets in the top 6, but I think Pelicans, if one team were to fall out, I think Pelicans would be the one that falls into the play-in. I'm just not sure if the Warriors are like good enough to get above that 6 seed line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the Suns will fall down?
I don't know. I mean, they're 34 and 24 right now, and Booker and KD, I mean, and Beal, but Beal's been in and out, hurt. He hasn't been
Yeah.
like that the Wizards Beal. But I mean, with
Mhm.
Booker and KD, having those two guys just kind of just being their own guys. Those are two like top 10 players. Those guys, they can get you a bucket anytime.
Mhm.
And at the end of the games, while the Warriors struggle, the Suns, I mean, I feel like they have two of the best like late game guys in Booker and KD. When you need a
Yeah.
bucket, like KD can shoot. You drop a spot on the court, KD can like shoot it. Booker, if you give him a mid-range shot, I've never seen him miss a mid-range shot like late in the game like that.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I'm not too worried about us missing the play-in. Utah's four games behind us, but Utah doesn't have like they're another team that doesn't have a closer. Laurie's good, but I don't think he's a late game closer. So I'm not too worried about the Warriors missing the playoffs or missing the play-in per se. I'm just scared that like we have to play a game against the Lakers, and I mean it's LeBron. If
Yeah.
LeBron comes alive for 40 points this season, it's gonna be against the Warriors for a
Yeah.
play for the like in a playing game. I bet you the NBA like they're drooling right now, thinking about a Warriors Lakers loser go home type of game.
Wasn't that like a game like not too long ago, like where's
Yeah,
Lakers and Warriors lost?
yeah, it was a play in 2021, the year before we won the finals. And then if you win that, you might have to go to Dallas or go to Sacramento and play another game, right?
Yeah,
The Kings,
playing away is also gonna be tough.
we beat
So
the Kings last year, and you know if we have to face them at Sacramento after what happened last year in Game 7,
it's
I
gonna
mean
be, yeah.
you just know like Sacramento's not going to let Golden State do it again to them. You would
But
think.
if you do make the playoff, who do you want to go against? Like first round?
Who
Like
do I
who?
want to go against?
Yeah, like in the top seats.
I would probably say OKC, just because OKC hasn't been in the playoffs last. It was what the Kings were last year. Like the teams never made the playoffs before. They're a really young group, inexperienced, and you got the Warriors who are really experienced. You know, four finals, three guys who've done multiple like finals runs. You even
Yeah.
have Chris Paul who's made lots of like deep playoff runs, even though he's kind of short. He knows what it takes to make deep playoff runs. So I say OKC, but I mean Shea, like J Dub, those guys are just like
Shed
so
home Shed Holmgren as well.
yeah. Chet's just so like they're all so like they're good. They can all shoot. They play defense. The
Yeah.
only thing like you're banking on the inexperience hitting,
Hmm.
which I mean, can you catch lightning in the balls twice in back-to-back years?
I don't know.
Who do you think you don't want to face? Is it Denver?
Yeah, Denver, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
think
anyone could guard Jokic, and I don't know why, but Jamal Murray's always like popping off against the Warriors, you know.
I think Jamal Murray popped off in the playoffs. Do you remember that like the bubble series against
Bubble, oh
Donovan
my
Mitchell?
God, yeah.
The bubble series when he was dropped 50 bombs, even though they didn't win, like they were dropping crazy like stat
Yeah.
lines.
Wasn't Jamal Murray like cold like last year too, like before playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, last year's playoff run, he was doing good. In the beginning, I mean, he came back from his ACL, so I don't expect him to be like popping off in the regular season. But that postseason
Yeah.
run from Jamal, I mean, he showed why he can like why he deserved to be in Denver, why he's one of the best guards in the West, and he's like a co-star to Jokic. And
Hmm.
then they just have so much shooting. Like you
Aaron
can't stop
Gordon,
you. Yeah, Aaron Gordon, I mean, he's not a shooter, but he's just so
Michael.
physical.
Yeah. I don't like wait who plays defense against Aaron Gordon? Like
It'd
when we
have to be
face
Kuminga because Draymond has to play against Jokic, right?
that's the problem. That's the problem. Kaminga against Gordon.
Yeah. And then, I mean, who's guarding Jamal Murray? Is it Pajemski? Is it
I
Wiggins? Oh, Wiggins might play against
Gordon.
Jamal. No, Jamal. I
I
think
think
Wiggins is a better perimeter guy.
Wasn't Steph guarding Jamal Murray like last time we went
Yeah,
against?
I don't think you want to do that though.
Yeah.
I think you put Steph on MPJ and just hope MPJ doesn't like back down. But Steph can hold his own. I think you use
So
this.
I feel like Steph Curry's like a decent defender, so he'll do
He
like
he
what he.
he has effort. I think he has effort where
Yeah.
he's willing to like put his body on the line, like kind of muscle up a little bit. You know,
Hmm.
he's much bigger than he was when he was a little like a little undersized when he's coming in. in the first few runs, like he was a little defensive liability. Now he is more muscular and he looks like he can kind of hold his own against like guys backing down. But I still don't
Yeah.
want him against Jamal. I feel like you want to like let him rest too, because Steph's gonna have to carry us that series.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the first episode of Barrier Breakdown. We'll be back next week to talk about the next few games and what's next for the Warriors. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.